The Last of Us 2 has arrived. Well, for some people. And the review embargo is now over. So, by many accounts, The Last of Us Part 2 is a violent and preaching video game that is set in a mindset that nearly all gamers have abandoned around 2013 when the original game came out. It includes a weak and predictable narrative that changes protagonists but still delivers the same tired and largely false messaging that we've come to expect from the mainstream media and other places. Ultimately, in this game, you are the bad guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, hiss and foes, welcome to the Culture Casino!
You are the bad guy. You've always been the bad guy. You can change colors, you can change genders, change your identity, you can change other immutables, and you're still the bad guy. At least, that's the story that people like Neil Druckmann and his ilk try to tell you through every game that you buy. There is no escaping this. In order to move forward in any of these stories, you have to do bad things. You are given no choice. Unlike games like Mass Effect, where you had choices that could be positive or negative, and those choices would have consequences, in this game, they're all bad consequences. Maybe you are making a choice between the better of two evils, but they're still evils, and if you pick one, by no mistake, you're the bad guy, because your decision is evil, because you pick something evil. I guess that's frustrating to many, because you are the bad guy no matter what. Why would you play a game that you're always the bad guy? But I digress. I guess the point, actually, of modern games at this point is that they don't want you to absorb anything other than a lesson. And that lesson isn't any simpler than the moral of the 1983 movie War Games, which is the only way to win is to not play. Well, congratulations, Sony Naughty Dog. I won't be playing this game. There will be a lot of people that won't be playing this game. Now, I won't be playing it because of all the other messaging that's in this game that was fortunately released in the form of many leaks, which they're largely trying to discredit, despite interviews to the contrary recently where Druckmann says it was a bummer that most of the saliency of the game had dropped. So, which is it? Anyway, so many of these progressively driven game companies want to actually go out of business, apparently, because they are alienating you. The creative director himself in this game was quoted as saying, and his name's Neil Druckmann, by the way, that they don't talk about fun. Games are supposed to be fun, or at least have an element of fun. You're trying to escape. And yet, in these modern titles with these progressive messages, escape is impossible. The games are easy to put down, no matter how compelling the visuals are, because you're being alienated. Well, from the non-chill reviewers that are out there, we're starting to see people are rebelling against this idea. And while there are only a few of these that are readily available, because I think they're largely hidden, at least there are some. Go out and find them. They're going to tell you a lot about this game. This part of the industry seems to perform and function only on the reciprocal relationship that they have with an army of shills in the access media. And without this army of shills to dilute the often poignant and objective actual reviews of games with these messages, they would have abandoned these games and this style of storytelling a long, long time ago, because it would not have been profitable. And this is true actually across all progressive media platforms, or in this country, almost every media platform there is. Because those with access will shill to keep said access. They will shill because the messages are what they consider to be right think. So, and unfortunately, another factor with this game is that it is landing in a time of political upheaval in this country and across the world, and also another real-world health crisis that exists, which is, honestly far from over. It lands with a load of controversy on its back because of the false DMCA claims that were made, along with false copyright claims on multiple creators and people who were inventive with their memery. And, all of those things have kind of been set aside over time because, they expired in the case of the YouTube, and you can pretty much just back out of those DMCA claims on Twitter fairly easily. So even though no actual DMCA was broken, even though no copyright was actually broken, these platforms are still allowing companies like this to bypass legitimate criticism, commentary, editorial, etc. But you'll notice today that, I'm not using a bunch of imagery. Normally in my videos, there's a bunch of stuff going on behind me. Pictures, possibly video clips, things like that. Well, I'm not doing any of that today. I'm only going to use the imagery that I've used because it's publicly available, because it's out there in the world, because I could personally take a picture of it, or it's been submitted for personal consumption or public consumption. And that's why I'm only using what I use. Many of these things are from the actual, publications that I've cited in this conversation. So that will give me some kind of a shield if, for some reason, a false copyright strike shows up on my doorstep. Now, there are bad reviews of the game, as I mentioned. So go out there and find them, because they exist. Because you need to have some balance. Because this game is not a 10 out of 10. And largely the leaks that were released are legitimate. There's no way to know that they're all legitimate until someone who is reliable has played the game. Anyway, there's one final thing I want to talk about very quickly. Because Naughty Dog is a Sony studio, and this is an exclusive title from Sony, I've heard from people that they are not willing to purchase the new PlayStation 5 when it comes out at the end of this year. And this comes on the heels of a release event that happened yesterday that I covered on Kai's channel in a live stream. And to be honest with you, I have mixed feelings on the PlayStation 5. While I think it will be an excellent console, and it'll be very difficult for me to resist purchasing it, I need to see more fleshed out titles instead of a bunch of rehash and indie titles. And I'm not going to let this particular game and this game studio influence my decision when it comes to buying the console, but I won't be buying this game. If someone gifts me this game, I might play it just to verify the leaks, just to talk about it with even more eloquence, and with a deeper pocket full of facts. But I will not allow this game or this creative director of this game influence my purchasing decision on the PlayStation 5. At least not for now. Anyway, tell me what you think. Do you think that largely this game is going to be successful? I think, unfortunately, it will be. Did they leave millions of dollars on the table? I think that they did. Is this going to influence your purchase of a PlayStation 5? I hope it doesn't, but vote with your wallets, because that's the only power that a consumer has. And by the way, fans are consumers. Consumers are fans. And on that note, make sure you take care of yourself. Take care of others. Wash your hands. Support independent creators, because largely most of them deserve it. And until next time, bye. Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and
share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.